Hello guys and welcome to Mexico. So in this video we're going to be getting into the nitty-gritty about why so many people move to Canada, the United States, the UK, and why expats like me and many other people I know are better off leaving these countries than staying in them. Basically, guys, a lot of people don't know this, but the fact is that the main reason is the people who want to move to places like Canada these days are poor people. And I hate to say it like that so bluntly because it doesn't seem right. And I've come from a background where I haven't grown up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I've lived through tough times. My family has definitely struggled. And I hate calling people poor people, but let's call them less fortunate people. Whatever you want to label these people, those are the type of people that desire to come to places like Canada. Now, why? Why do they desire to come to places like Canada? That's a great question. The real reason is, when you get the klutz of it, is they're after a better life. Expats move around because they are after a better life. They want to go to the places like Mexico that treat you the best. So the thing is, if you are very, very poor in a country like India, then you might feel like Canada is a better life. Or let's say you are of a poorer class in a different country around the world, and that means that the chances of crime happening, the chances of you being abducted are higher. You're at higher risk of something happening to you, so you're not very safe in that country. So you want to move to Canada or a place like the United States where you're going to feel safer. The reality is, this is really the truth, guys. A lot of people who move to countries like Canada, the United States, Europe, the UK, are just very, very poor people who have grown up in a place where they are on the poverty line, and the poverty line in the country is very, very extreme. There's no hiding it that if you are poor in Mexico, it is worse than being poor in Canada. And that's what I mean, guys. These people are moving for a better life, like all expats do. And that's what I've really learned. You see, we often think that these poster countries like Canada, the United States, are the best countries to move to. But having talked to a lot of expats down here in Mexico from the United States and Canada, they know that that's not the case. A lot of people realize that, hey, the places like Mexico, if you're a middle-class person or you earn an average income, if you come down here and you can live down here, you're like almost rich. Like, to live the lifestyle that you would live down here in Canada, you would have to be earning $1 million a year. It's just insane. You would be broke trying to do that. So here, people just live a much better lifestyle. And it's not only that, guys. It's different things like we talked about in other videos, like access to healthcare. Access to healthcare down here in Mexico is very, very good. Healthcare is very, very cheap. The quality of healthcare is very, very good too. But the thing is, there is obviously a massive wealth divide here in Mexico. But rest assured, you can sleep at night knowing that you're contributing to the Mexican economy by living down here. You're bringing money into Mexico. You're helping lift people out of poverty. And that is something that is a good thing, really. Mexico wants more and more people to move here, more and more gringos to move here, because they provide jobs, they provide work opportunities for Mexicans. They mean that less Mexicans are going to be unemployed. So the government wants that. And that's why they don't put much red tape in the way of people moving here. It's very simple. I've looked into the process of moving to Mexico. You just need a certain amount of savings, or you need an income that's coming in each month, and you can go to a consulate and get your visa to Mexico very simply. There's not as much bureaucracy as is involved getting a visa for Canada, which is very, very ridiculously tough. And the reason it's ridiculously tough is because they want to make sure that people don't get it who are dirt poor, extremely poor. But the reality is a lot of people end up coming to Canada anyway because there is other avenues and many different loopholes that people can use, and lawyers have created businesses around helping people move to Canada in different countries like India who are on the poverty line. And you know what? I'm not here preaching saying that that is a bad thing. I just want to make that clear. That is the reality, and it's been like that for decades. It's just about time that people really accepted it. It's more of a taboo subject. People don't really accept it, but it's the reality, you know. And I'm not necessarily saying refugees either. You know, you can have somebody come to school in Canada, like let's say they pay for somebody to go get an education in the family, and then the person ends up getting a job after they get their education here in Canada. They end up sponsoring their whole entire family to come over, and that's different loopholes that people use to get their family to come to Canada. And there's plenty of loopholes that people use, believe me. But you know, if you are an actual person who is an economic migrant, who is like middle class and coming from a European country, like I came from the UK, it's very, very tough to move to a place like Canada. Like, they put all these blockades in the way, all this pointless bureaucracy in the way. And really, now I'm just sort of looking back on it and thinking, why? Like, why is there all this bureaucracy? Because the fact is, the lifestyle is actually very, very poor. Like, living in Canada, trying to be middle class, I guess, if there's even a middle class that exists now, I'm not even sure. It shrinks every week, I think, in Canada. But the thing is, being middle class in Canada is no fun at all. You're struggling. You know, you're house poor, you're rent poor, whatever it is. Canada is just a horrible place to live in nowadays. The cost of living is just, I've seen it rise throughout my time in Canada. It hasn't just been the past 2 years, you know, it has risen drastically since we arrived in 2016. And the fact is, it's just not a good place to live anymore. And I think heading into this next recession, it's going to be a terrible place to live. And I think people are going to be even more at their wits' end. People are going to be more rude. Like, Canadians are often referred to, and they are extremely polite. Like, I totally agree. People in Canada are extremely polite. But when people are struggling, they change. And the reality is, most Canadians haven't seen what a struggle really is for the past 22 years. So they're going to see it, and it's not going to be pretty at all, because we're still going to have rising inflation, in my opinion. So, you know, you've got all these dynamics happening which are just killing the middle class. But really, like, in my opinion, if I was you and you're from somewhere in Europe and you're looking to move to Canada, I would rethink the whole plan, because I don't think it's a good idea. Every place has its pros and cons. And here in Mexico, it has its pros and cons too. I'm not going to lie. But it depends where you fall. Like, you might be middle class in Canada and the United States, but you're rich in Mexico. And that makes a big difference to your standard of living, your quality of life that you're going to have. And I think that's very, very important. And, you know, I think it's very, very important to have access to cheap, whole foods that you can buy. And in Canada, that's not the case. Fruit and vegetables are very, very expensive. Here, they are plentiful, very cheap. Natural food is very easy to find. And that is something that I think is fantastic, whereas in Canada, the only things that are cheap is your junk and your garbage box food. That's the real only stuff that it's cheap and it's just no good for you, it's just going to kill you. So the thing is, I just think that that is the main reasons, right, that you're getting that people who move to Canada, and people don't want to acknowledge it, but this is the reality in my opinion. So take it with a grain of salt, guys. I know a lot of people don't agree with the videos that I make because I tell the truth and it strikes a nerve. Often you find that people who are most reactive are people that get offended because they know it's really true deep down. It strikes a nerve with them and they think, God, that guy's right, so I'm going to do everything in my power to try and make it so that he's not right, because that is really depressing knowing that fact. But it's just the reality. And really, I'm hoping that I inspire people to do the same as I'm doing, to go on the same path as we are going on. Because really, it's just going to be a better life for everybody that way. If I can help people do that, then that's fantastic. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace, guys. Bye-bye.